Hi, my name is Alvin Po, and if you're new here, welcome. I created this channel and I'm putting out videos like this to help you super scale your business. If you are an entrepreneur or a business owner, these videos are going to be super useful to you and I hope that you like them. If you do, click on the like button and share these videos with people so that I can start putting up more of these videos. Now let's dive into it. The business that I started was Vodien. Vodien is a cloud hosting provider. It was dealing in all kinds of hosting solutions, website hosting, email hosting, application hosting, and so on. That company was started by myself and my co-founder at the age of 17 years old. We grew that business from 0 to $30 million in 17 years. 17 isn't a very short period of time. It was a really long period, and over that 17 years, I learned a lot of lessons and experiences that I can hopefully share with you. So once again, like, subscribe, and share. Now, Vodien started at 17, when I was 17, because I was looking for part-time income. My family wasn't very well to do, so I had to actually find pocket money if I wanted to go hang out with my friends after school, if I wanted to go like dine out at a restaurant, or if I wanted to buy like something, some cool toy or gadget. That was the kind of life that I had. I could decide between maybe a part-time job and a business, and thankfully enough, I went down the route of entrepreneurship, and that really shaped me into who I am today. Vodien wasn't something that was a straight line growth path from 0 to 30 million. We went all over the place, lots of lessons. And I think if you ask me what the biggest lesson was, it was something that I realized over time. When I was developing the 5E scale engine for super scaling, I realized that concentrating on the business itself isn't accurate. We can't just look at a business and figure out what needs to be done. In fact, I realized that there was something else that was so critical before you looked at that, and that thing is literally ourselves. I realized that I was one of the biggest roadblocks and obstacles in my business's growth some of the times. The one thing that I actually had to overcome was the limiting beliefs that I had in my mind. And that is why, as a business owner, the first thing that we should actually work on, and that's why it's also the first principle that I have in the 5E scale engine, is ourselves. We have to evolve as entrepreneurs. Who I was when I first started my business is drastically different from who I was when I eventually sold my business. That journey caused me to evolve as a person, caused me to think differently, caused me to have like different expectations and assumptions and frames of mind and all that. And that's what I'm going to talk about right now. One of the lessons that I had to overcome and I had to learn was the lesson of limiting beliefs. And so there are three things that we need to talk about in terms of limiting beliefs. One is that we should work hard. That's the first limiting belief. The second limiting belief is that people can't do as good a job as we can. And the third limiting belief is that we can't trust people. So these are the three things that we're going to talk about. Let's dive into the first one. Now, when I was growing up, my family, my parents, my teachers instilled in me a belief that I should always work hard. Duty, responsibility, work ethic, those were very important to me. The problem is when you become a manager of people or a business owner, you've got to actually redefine and to be very clear about what working hard means. Because I grew up with that mindset of working hard, it was very difficult for me to delegate. It was very difficult for me to say, hey, we've got all these work to do and I'm actually doing all of this work right now. This component will now be given to you and you need to help to do that, right? I found it so hard to do. As first-time entrepreneur, as a young entrepreneur, as a new entrepreneur back then, I must have been 20 plus years old. And it was very difficult for me to tell other people to say, hey, these are all the things that we need to be done and you guys are all in charge of that. It went against my work ethic, it went against the values that I had. But eventually I realized that I was simply overwhelming myself and I was just burying myself with work and I wasn't maximizing my team. And that was when I realized that working hard doesn't mean that you need to do everything yourself. And that's when I realized that working hard also meant that you could manage people, you could actually empower your team, you could actually get your team to perform at a really high level. If you can do that, that's actually a great management outcome. And when I realized that, I started shifting the way I did things. Now, I still work hard, mind you. I work like almost every day. I work like, I'm literally always thinking about work. Because work is like a hobby. Like, I enjoy work and I obsess about work sometimes. So I still work hard. It's just, what does work mean to me? It's literally what that saying goes, where we should work smart, not hard. This is kind of like that. And the lesson that I learned was to actually make sure that I could actually delegate properly. I could actually see that delegation wasn't me giving up work, but rather me making sure that the whole team, the whole organization is able to perform efficiently. And the second limiting belief that is around and really affected me back then is that people can't do as good a job as I can. And I think that may be true, right? But that's not the point. The point is, as entrepreneurs, we are definitely good at certain things. If you run an agency, maybe you're good at marketing. If you run a studio or a development house, maybe you're good at programming. All those things are skills that you are naturally passionate and good at. But it doesn't mean that other people can't be joining our team or can't be expected or relied upon to deliver the same kind of output. What that limiting beliefs create is again that bottleneck where you are the only person that's actually contributing and doing the work. And that is not great for any team or any organization. We have to expect that when somebody new joins us, they don't have the experience, they don't have the skill sets, they don't have what we have inside us, and they need to be trained, they need to be familiarized. And that process takes months. We can't expect somebody brand new to join our team and on the second day, be expected to perform. We've got to have a progression plan, a route for them to follow and to be trained in so that they can actually deliver the results that the organization wants from them with time. And that is what is required to actually get people to be at a level that you want as an entrepreneur, that the organization requires. That period though is literally a period of maybe negative output, negative results. Because when people are being trained and when people are new to the role, they are not going to give you output, or at least not the output that you want. So you're going to spend time correcting people, you're going to spend time adjusting certain things, you're going to spend time guiding people, mentoring people, coaching people. And that process literally means that you or someone else, the supervisor, is going to spend that time and not spend time on actually creating output. And as a result, you might face this negative output for your business during that period. The issue though, the problem is that we need to go through that in order to make sure that all these people that we have on our teams can really start putting out good work after they've been trained. The third limiting belief is that we can't trust people. And I think that's terrible, because if you have a team, we need to have trust and transparency. As a first-time entrepreneur back then, I was very reluctant and afraid and cautious of sharing things like revenue numbers, like unit sales and all that, because I was afraid of how my team would think, what they would think when they had access to those numbers. I was afraid that people might go start their own businesses. But I realized that was again a limiting belief. When you have a team, it's like driving in a car and having people join you in the car. Everybody will be asking where they are we there yet? You'll be harassing the driver if we don't tell them or give them updates on the journey. And that's what happens in the business. If you don't provide these updates, people will need to know what the output is. People need to know the progress that they are making, that the company is making, especially in relation to the work that they are doing. And that sense of transparency was something that took me a very long time to get to. And once I actually started being more transparent and letting people understand, the progress of the company, I saw that everybody started having much more ownership, having much more interest in the work that they are doing. And that again changed the way that my business was run. And that was the third limiting belief that I had to overcome. So those are the three limiting beliefs that hopefully will help you, shape you into be a better entrepreneur, to be a better business owner, that maybe gives you a better idea of how to better run the business that you're running. The three limiting beliefs again are: one, that we should work hard, and the limiting belief number two is that people can't do as good a job as we can, and the limiting belief number three is that we can't trust people. So these are the three limiting beliefs that might affect us. It definitely affected me So hopefully this gives you a better idea of how to run your business. I'm using all these lessons that I created to coach entrepreneurs to scale up their businesses as well. I call this super scaling. I've created a book. I wrote a book. You can find it on superscaling.com/book. Hopefully this video has given you value. Maybe it shaped the way that you think about things, maybe it gives you a different perspective, or maybe it gives you an idea of how I actually scale up my business and the lessons that you could take away from that. If you have benefited from this video, I want to know. Let me know by just liking this or subscribing to the channel, sharing this video. Drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts, your feedback. If I have to elaborate on certain points, or if I missed out on anything, or if there's a different topic that you would like me to cover, let me know. Just drop them in the comments below and I'll have a look and I'll reply to you. Thank you so much for really watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.